Hi everyone, this is Lily,
This is Vidia,
and welcome to Girls
Grace,
and
and
Giggles.
Giggles.
All right, so we're back with episode 4 of our podcast. Today we're going to be talking about our personalities.
If you haven't had enough of us, we've got more.
It seems like we're very self-absorbed at this point.
But maybe it's a good foundation to lay so that you get
Yeah.
to know us more, and then
Exactly.
Yeah.
Get to know us well and deeply. So in this episode, we're going to be using the MBTI, the Myers-Briggs personality test found on 16 personalities, to discuss and see what our results would be. Big disclaimer, of course, we are not psychologists, we're not psychiatrists, we don't have any sort of professional certification to go off of on this. So if you do have actual questions about these things,
don't ask us.
Yeah, don't ask us.
Please hesitate to contact us.
Please do hesitate and do not. So that's kind of the disclaimer. Now that that's out of the way, we'll touch on first the MBTI.
Mm-hmm.
And
if you're curious and if you want to read more, you can go to 16personalities.com.
Yeah. We're not sponsored, but although if they would want to, please do contact us. We're very eager about that.
Yeah, and the test is free, so you get all the results in full.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's a good one.
All right. So I think your personality video comes as literally no surprise to anyone.
But perhaps we should talk about the aspects first.
Yeah. So, sure.
Yeah. So it's called 16 personalities because your result will come in 4 different letters. And they are classified into different categories.
Yeah.
So the first letter would talk about your energy. It will basically talk about how you get your energy or how you recharge.
Yeah.
So you'll be either I, representing introverted, or E, being extroverted.
Mm-hmm.
And then your second letter would be talking about how you see the world and process information. So you're either an S, which is an observant, or an N, which is intuitive. And then the third letter will determine how you make decisions and cope with emotions. So you're either T for thinking and then F for feeling. And then your last letter would be reflecting your approach to work, planning, and decision making. So you're either a J for judging or P for prospecting. There's actually a last letter.
It's a dash one.
Yeah, it's a dash one. It is, I'm just reading off of the website. It's apparently your identity aspect that underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. So if you're an A for assertive, it means you're self-assured, resistant to stress. And if you're T, you're turbulent and you're more self-conscious and sensitive to stress.
Mm-hmm.
And my result. So I have taken this test many times.
Yeah. And it's always the same.
Always the same. I haven't changed apparently.
Yeah. You remain consistent.
Yes,
which is great.
But I'm sure there's been changes here and there. But I think
the core, the percentages and stuff.
Percentages or just subtle changes. But I think the core stays the same. So I
think you're pretty textbook for this.
Yeah, I identify. So I am an ISFJ, which is defender.
Woo!
Yeah, that is me. So that's the one with the nurse icon.
Yeah, and it's the blue one, the blue nurse.
Yeah, and I'm ISFJT. Again, I'm just reading off of the website. So defenders are very dedicated and warm protectors, always ready to defend their loved ones. Wow, this sounds so noble.
Very up there.
It's like Mother Teresa.
Okay, there.
Yeah, I sometimes feel a bit bad reading this description.
Why? Because you don't feel like it really.
It's so altruistic and noble, defenders.
Yeah,
it's so
sacrifice,
heroic.
Self-sacrificial. I'll be the martyr. And
exactly.
and you're like, man.
I mean, I do identify, but I don't know if I'm up to that standard.
So let's start with the I. So obviously you are, I think, very more introverted.
Yes, I am an introvert. I do need my own me time to recharge. I I don't mind being alone. Like I can enjoy solitude, but it doesn't mean that I hate people. I do like, meeting people, connecting with people. And if you hear or listen to our third episode, I like quality time.
Yes.
With myself and also other people. So
yeah.
I like connecting with people. I think I am an outgoing introvert.
Yeah. I think you've been way more extroverted now than before. Like you're very eager to like, arrange things or like get together or participate in like events and stuff. Like, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So you're much more, I feel like nowadays you're more extroverted than me.
But I'm still introvert.
Yeah.
I'm still an introvert. Yeah.
Generally, yes, I agree, but like the scale has been moved more to the extrovert.
And I've had people just tell me that they're surprised that I'm an introvert. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm an introvert through and through.
Oh yeah, you are. I don't doubt that. Yeah, but I think that the dial has been moved closer to the extroversion
maybe
side.
Which is interesting because some people, or maybe most people, when they get older, they become more extroverted. Sorry, introverted. But maybe I change.
Yeah.
Like,
well, if you're already very introverted and then you become even more introvert, like do you even leave your house? Like it's just like a recluse, agoraphobe, Yeah. But I think it's perhaps also just with aging, like you feel more comfortable in your skin, you can feel more comfortable.
Yeah, that can be the case as well.
And also, relocating to a new country, like you kind of are forced to be more extroverted just so that you can literally like meet people because you have to establish a network by yourself again.
Yeah.
And that has something to do with it, perhaps.
Yeah. And like when I hang out with people that have like the same wavelength, or people I generally enjoy their presence, I don't feel so like mentally exhausted or drained. So it also depends on the hangouts and the people.
I agree.
That I'm with.
I agree. So, this is the quality time thing we're talking about.
Yes.
Before, too.
Yeah. It's quality over quantity.
Yeah. Or if it's like a lot of a good quantity of quality.
Oh yeah, then it's like
even better.
Awesome.
Prime. Peak. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. So then the next one is you were S.
Yes.
Right?
So I'm more observant. So apparently I am highly practical, pragmatic, and down to earth.
Yeah. That's pretty much true.
It says they tend to have strong habits and focus on what is happening or has already happened.
So much more focused on like the present and the past rather than like thinking and projecting about the future.
Exactly. Yeah. So like at work, something that is like operational, I think I'd be very good at it because
yes,
it's very pragmatic, practical,
and detail oriented as well.
Yes.
Like you need to know and plan down to the millisecond of like this and that.
Yes.
But I think you enjoy that. Like you like being able to know. Yeah.
Although I would also like to, like learn the other side of the business, or I want to be more intuitive as well to be able to have like a vision, be more of a visionary and think outside the box and like have a more imaginative approach to things.
But I think that would stress you out though. Because you'd be like, but so what is it? Like, what is the actual plan?
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing though?
Yeah, like practically speaking,
what am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I think that's much more you to be like, okay, maybe the most ideal is that you're in the team of someone who's planning for like a future event when they're just brainstorming. But then after they've already brainstormed and like they have like a loose plan, then you come in and you're like, okay, this is the metrics.
Making it happen. Implementing it.
Making it happen.
Yes.
Then you'll be like, that's your zone. That's your like sweet spot.
Exactly. I think it's helpful to know the vision and the goal.
Yeah.
But I also need direction.
Yes.
Like absolute and like.
Because what if someone was to come up to you and say like, you have to come up with the vision? Like that would stress you out, I would feel.
That will take me more time to
like
finish the task.
I don't know what you want. I don't have a vision.
Like dream on. I'm like,
It's like, okay.
I need something that I can grasp.
Yes.
So
much more like concrete and like
exactly.
Practical.
Yeah, concrete is the great word.
Yeah. No, I get that. I totally kind of just like see that.
Yeah.
In your personality.
And then the third letter is thinking versus feeling. I am an F. So feeling individuals are sensitive and emotionally expressive. They are more empathic and less competitive than thinking types, and focus on social harmony and cooperation.
Yeah. I think there's more like type A or type B people. Like type A is like
Yeah.
super like competitive and like like makes
more-
everything to be a competition, and then feeling people are like, I'm pretty okay with
Yeah.
go with the flow, and
Yeah.
like less conflict, like more conflict averse, and just trying to like for the good of the group, like willing to kind of accommodate and be a team player, that kind of thing.
Yeah. But I thought you would talk more about how you're. Oh, maybe I think it did. It does talk about it. Like, they're sensitive and emotionally expressive? Because I think I'm quite attuned to my emotions and like others.
Yeah.
But I would like to think I'm not irrational.
What? It doesn't say.
It doesn't say. It doesn't say. But
Mm.
in my mind, I'm just like, oh, if I'm like leaning towards feeling, does that mean I'm like irrational?
Oh.
I'm not. I would like to think I'm
No.
not.
But maybe you're just more emotional
Yeah.
than like, or maybe it's like, I always thought it would mean like you rely on what you feel rather than what you think when you're making a decision. I mean, of course you still think, but it's more like the ultimate motivator is like because you feel a certain way. Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, I feel like bored, or I feel tired, or I feel this
Right.
and that. So I'm going to take a bath. So I'm going to go out and exercise. So I'm going to meet up with some friends or whatever. Like the motivation to drive that action is based on something you feel, rather than like mentally thinking like, oh yeah, it's good to like, be social. It's good to do, like you would know it like in your thinking,
Yeah.
but what actually ends up making you take that action is like how you feel about it.
Okay, but there are some people who are because they are very emotional. I think they don't really they don't look at the logic of things as much because they're
Yes,
so
yes.
like led by their emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I see what you mean.
Yeah, I think I'm not that. Hopefully
No,
not.
I think you're still pretty rational.
Yeah.
Like you're a pretty rational person. It's more just that like you don't neglect your feelings.
Yeah.
When making like decisions either.
You know me so well.
Well, it takes one to know one.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm also F, right? I'm also the feeling type. So
yes.
So that's probably why.
And my last letter, which is J for me. So judging.
So that's the judging.
Yeah, judging individuals are decisive, thorough, and highly organized. They value clarity, predictability, and closure. I'm like smiling as I'm reading this.
Yeah, you're like, this is me.
Yeah. They prefer structure and planning to spontaneity.
That's definitely you. Hundo P.
Yeah.
Like, do you know the percentage of this for judging, like that you have on
Oh,
your? Is it 90%?
I'll find it when we talk about yours.
That would be hilarious.
Yeah,
because
I'm sure it's pretty high.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised if it's like 70 versus 30.
Yeah. So this is a huge part in which Vidia and I like greatly differ.
Yes.
Because like so for me, I was literally like 65% P prospecting and 35 judging.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like quite
higher. Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
I'm that bad? Okay.
It's not bad. Okay, let me read the description. Prospecting individuals are very good at improvising and spotting opportunities. They tend to be flexible, relaxed, non-conformists who prefer keeping their options open.
Yes, this is me. This is me. I'm very like, I think it's just because I'm very open to like things changing, like change of plans, change of direction, change of whatever. Like, and I'm just kind of like, okay, let's just go with the flow and this.
You're
and
just
that.
very flexible.
Yeah, I'm very flexible. I'm very open, and so it doesn't bother me that plans change. Whereas like for you, it's like, dude, I just spent all this time to plan this, and now you're telling me that this is gonna like, change my plan.
Last minute stuff can stress me out a little bit.
Yeah. Whereas for me, I'm like, all right, this is what we're gonna do now, I guess.
You're like, I can't be stressed if I don't have a plan.
Yeah, exactly. That should be my life motto. Like, because so this is like another thing that like Vinny and I like. So take a very easy example of like packing.
Oh yeah.
So for trips, so Vinny and I need to go on a lot of trips sometimes for work and this and that, and oftentimes like my trips, if I am going off to somewhere for like a week or something, I would literally be packing the day before, if not the day of.
Even that just gives me anxiety.
Exactly. Whereas Vidia is like 2 weeks before the date she's already.
I mean, not 2 weeks ahead.
Okay,
maybe like
but
a week.
Like a week ahead, she would already start planning. And,
like in my
packing.
mind.
Yes. And I'm just like, wow. Like, yes, I would think about it. Like, oh yeah, make sure I bring this and that. But like, if I don't bring this or that, it's not the end of the world, right? And I'm just like, okay, then that's that. Then I don't have that thing. But I think we're both pretty fast packers. Like generally, like I don't know. I think I can pack pretty quickly, and so it's more just like, okay, I'm okay with the consequences if I forget something. It's like not catastrophic, unless it's like actually something quite important, like my passport. In which case, like obviously I can't fly.
Yeah.
But if it's just like, oh, I forgot like an extra
toothpaste.
Yeah, which I have done before. Which I've forgotten toothpaste. I've forgotten, or I've like ran out of toothpaste.
Yeah.
Or like contact solution. But like those are small things that I know that I can purchase. So it's like not a big deal. And I mean, this is within reason, right, guys? Like I'm not I'm not going to the wilderness like without packing anything. Like if it's just like a short trip to like the US or like going to Europe somewhere, then I'm like, okay, yeah, like I know I can purchase those things if I need to. If it's like worst case scenario, right? But generally I still find that even if I forget something, it's not like that bad. Like I would still be able to make way, or like if I packed one less shirt, then I'm like, okay, then I'll just wear one shirt twice, and that's kind of the end of it. But it's more just that like it doesn't give me that much stress. Yeah. Whereas for you, it's just like if you don't pack it or if you don't plan it, that gives you stress.
Yeah, because
right?
I don't think I do well like under pressure or under time pressure. I think I probably would have tendency to forget things if I pack last minute. And for me not to forget, then I'll just pack in advance.
Yeah.
So that this is again my J. I have a list.
Yeah.
Of
and you check it twice.
Yes. Oh, more than
figure out
twice.
Who's naughty or nice.
Yeah. So I have a list. Like sometimes I build the list like maybe like a week ago, like before the trip, and then like after I pack, I will also take a look at the list and then just see, okay, did I pack all
like
of
a
these
checklist?
Things? Yeah. So,
well, good for you.
Yeah, no, but it's good to be like free and like flexible sometimes.
I think it's from my parents too. Because like they recently went to Mexico for like a week-long kind of resort trip, and I was there at their house the night before because the early morning, like they had a flight early morning, so I had to drive them to the airport. So I was just like at their place the night before, and I arrived at like 10 p.m. at their house, which is pretty late, and their flight the next day was 8 a.m. And we live kind of far from the airport, so we had to get there by like 6, right? So we have to leave the house by like 5:30 at the latest.
Yeah.
And so you would think that they would have packed by then, right? 10 p.m. because they have to leave the house at 5:30 a.m. the next day. I get there and I see my dad. I'm like, hey, like, where's the luggages, And then my dad's like, oh yeah, not started yet. So I go upstairs to my mom, and then she's just like in the bedroom, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I'm just starting right now for packing." She's like, "Yeah, I'm almost done." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And so that's like pretty normal for us.
I see.
Yeah, and so it's always like.
But were you surprised?
No.
Oh yeah. It runs in the family.
All right, yeah, that sounds about right. I think I was surprised that it was still a bit late, because usually it wouldn't surprise me if they started packing like the afternoon. Of the day before. Yeah. But it was like 10 p.m. and they were about to go to bed. And they were just like starting to pack. I'm like, okay, that's all right. And then, they have everything, and it was fine. And it was like a short trip, obviously, just to a resort. So it was just like packed lightly, and, bathing suit and like some clothes and whatever. Yeah. But if it were going back to like China or something for like a longer trip, and because we have to give presents and stuff, that takes much more planning. So that starts like, a few weeks in advance, because we have to buy all this stuff. But the actual physical packing of it, night before.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I think the packing is quick to me. It's just like what things to pack.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
yeah. The
for
planning
me,
of
yeah,
it.
the planning of the outfits, that's what I hate the most as well, especially for like work trips. Because I
Yeah.
want to be kind of efficient with what I bring.
Yes.
Then you have to like think about, okay,
Like,
what
what's
are
the occasion? What's the style? What's the weather? What's the,
because you don't want to bring your whole wardrobe.
No,
But you also want
exactly.
to look nice. So that's
Exactly.
why it takes like a lot of time.
Mm.
Like even with enough time in advance, it will still be time
but there
consuming
are like
for me.
certain outfits that are like, set, right? Like you're like, oh yeah, I will wear this outfit.
That's
and
true.
this
Yeah,
one.
I'm just extra sometimes.
No, I'm not at all. I mean, I think that it's just like each have their own,
Yeah.
styles, right?
But I try to be more like flexible and like loosey goosey. I do try
How has that
to
worked out
go
for
to
you?
the other side of the spectrum. So like for example, if I go like travel somewhere,
Mhm.
I would like to have like a planned itinerary, but I also know that sometimes it may rob me of the spontaneity
Right,
of like
right.
discovering things like on the spot. So
Yes.
I would try to find like a happy balance and to have
Right. Some
like
free time.
Yeah, like a rough skeleton of
Right.
where I'll be, but maybe I'll just leave foods to eat, as I
Yeah.
go to that place.
Right.
So something like
It's like a bit of both, like a nice hybrid mix of that.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
I
I
like
remember going to Annecy in France with a friend who is a total P.
Going where?
Annecy.
Where's that?
It's a city close to Geneva.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so it's just right across the border of Switzerland.
Ooh.
And it was like spontaneous because even like before the trip, I wasn't sure if I was gonna like go with her. But then like last minute I was like, oh yeah, I mean I'm like awake, I don't have anything to do, let's just go. And because she's the P, she doesn't have a plan.
Yeah.
So we'll just go, I just go along with her. It was so liberating. I'm like, it is so nice to not have a plan.
Yeah.
And to really just like discover things as you go.
Yeah. How about that?
Yeah. But because I was with a friend, so it was
Yes.
like fun. And
Right.
we just like explore together.
Yes,
But if
yes.
I were on my own, I don't know if I would
Yeah.
I would be without any plan at all.
Yes. I think what happens is you don't want to like squander the time that you're there.
Yeah.
And so you want to maximize it.
Yeah.
Because you're only there for a limited time.
Exactly.
And so you want to make the most of it. But then you don't want to tire yourself out by like going and abiding by this very strict itinerary either. So it's always a hard balance.
Yeah.
But
I remember it was so liberating because we decided to go there like on the day of our arrival.
Yeah.
And so we had to check, let's see
what's
train
happening.
times are available. So we literally had no idea.
Yeah, that happens.
I'm like, wow, this is
amazing.
How the other half travel.
But would you be like, but I think what's really good about you is that you would be willing to like go along with that too. Because I think if you were like super, super like J, then you would be like, you would want a structure for everything.
I'd be like demanding, what are we going to do there?
Yeah.
What time are we going to be back?
Exactly,
No, I'm not that strict.
So it's just like, okay, let's just like when in Rome, kind of go with the flow.
Yeah.
And then, but if I think your friend was a super J, then she would have planned everything and then you'd also just go along with that too. So you're just very able to adapt to like go along with like whatever the other personality type would be.
Yeah.
Like you're very, which is great.
Go with the flow.
Yeah.
Girl.
Wow, good for you.
And how about you? Do you?
No, I want to know the like famous people or whatever. That
wait, but we haven't finished talking about you. I mean,
I haven't shared mine yet, but it's okay. We'll share with yours and then we'll go with mine after.
All right. So I'm very proud with the famous
she
people.
Says quietly into the mic.
ISFJs. There's
whoa, you got all these good people.
Yes.
Dang.
Queen Elizabeth II.
Aretha Franklin.
Beyonce.
Okay, Middleton.
Yes.
Anne Hathaway.
And the one that I'm the most proud of is Samwise Gamgee. Because I watched Lord of the Rings and I'm like,
you watched? You didn't read? For shame. It's okay.
I shall not.
I neither watched nor read. Oh, what? Okay. I mean, I watched like I think the first movie and then half the second. Yeah, which I think is pretty, sacrilege to most people.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Dr. Watson.
You're gonna get canceled. Yeah. Anyways, but you know the premise of like the story of.
Yeah, because he's the real hero. Like he's the one. Like, yeah. Yes.
Like without Samwise Gamgee.
Yeah, Frodo would not have thrown the ring into the
Exactly.
fire of Mordor.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get it.
Yeah.
He's the real like the one that stepped up because in the end, when Frodo was kind of hesitating about like throwing it in, because he was also kind of like
Like
tempted by that
infected. Yeah.
power.
Yeah.
And he was like, no, you gotta
Yeah.
destroy the ring, whatever.
And I also just
Whoa,
realized
Captain
there's
America?
Captain America as well, which is one of my favorite Marvel heroes. So
I think you just like Chris Pine.
it's Chris Evans.
Oh, sorry,
excuse me.
Chris Evans. Who's Chris Pine?
Chris Pine is someone else. He plays in Dungeons and Dragons. There's a lot of Chris's, I know.
Wait.
Chris Pine.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Chris Pine was in Wonder Woman.
Yes.
Oh. Okay. And then who's Captain America? Chris Evans.
Chris Evans.
Okay. Okay. Chris Evans. Okay. Sorry. All right. Wow, you got some good people
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Aw.
So
I don't think I have that many cool people. I mean, no offense to my personality type.
all right, then why don't we go
If
to
all the people, if the things I said already isn't going to get me canceled. All right. So
yeah, why don't we
for
go to
me,
yours?
Perhaps it will be a surprise to some to know that I'm actually an I.
Yeah, but you
actually an
used to be an
introvert.
E.
I used to be an E, and then life has like changed me. So my personality is an INFP.
For now.
INFP. Yes, yes. But I think that like generally now I'm definitely a P. That's for sure. There's no doubt.
It's unchanging.
Yeah. That's probably the only thing that's not changed. So INFP is the one of the green icons. It's called the mediator. And it's like the icon is like this woman with like braids in her hair looking hippy dippy and all that. So I don't know what that means, but I guess it's just like someone who wants to like live kindly with
Yeah, the description is that mediators are poetic, kind, and altruistic people, and always eager to help a good cause. Also very noble.
Wow. Yeah, I think they write this to like to the to fluff it up a bit. It's like yeah. So I think that like I generally agree with the assessment, but also I feel like my introversion is something that kind of started more in my like older 20s and like now in my 30s. Like I think I was definitely someone who was more extroverted when I was younger and wanted that kind of energy, from others and whatever. But now I much prefer to just have a nice quality time with like a few close friends, or even just like one close friend, and then rather than a group or like a large party of some kind. Because I find that it's not that I don't like those settings, but I find that like in a smaller setting, you get to actually go deep and like have deeper conversations and actually first of all hear the other person instead of like being in a loud environment, and it's
Yeah.
just more conducive to a more
Like deeper
conversation, and just a bit more like valuable to me. Like that it's just more more beneficial to like that's quality time for me.
Yeah, more depth.
Yeah, so back to episode 3 about love languages and whatnot, like that shows to me that we are really connecting and we're really bonding and this and that. So yeah, definitely more introverted as I've grown. But I mean, I still do find it's fun to be in a crowd sometimes, but definitely not my preference nowadays. And now I feel even more like introverted because I don't like actively seek out these opportunities like you, like you actually want to go out and like enjoy being like amongst people, and I'm just like yeah, sure, I guess. If I must. Like it's something I definitely have to like push myself to do. Not something I would do like
am I the social butterfly?
Yeah. Like actually, you've been disguising
who am
yourself.
I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's different.
But even with this difference now, you're only what 51% introversion.
Well, I mean, I took this test like a while ago, but I feel like it's the scales have dialed more to the introverted side for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So the second aspect for the S or the N, I'm
This is where we're
definitely
different.
yeah. So I'm the latter. I'm the N. Unlike Vidia, who's the S, who's practical, pragmatic, and down to earth, and strong habits of focusing on the past and the present. Me, I'm so supposedly very imaginative, open-minded, and curious. They prefer novelty over stability and focus on hidden meanings and future possibilities. That's actually quite me.
Yeah.
That's
You're a
quite
dreamer,
yeah.
visionary.
Like I think that it's exciting to me to see the bigger picture. I like to see the bigger picture of things. When it comes down to the nitty gritty, I do get bored, and like
Oh,
it's
okay.
it's
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fine, and I like to do that as well. I like to dig into it, but I think it's more interesting to me to like think about big picture things and to think about like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yes, let's see how these parts move together. Let's create something. Let's
Yeah.
it's like it's just more up my speed.
Mm-hmm.
um but then of course I can plan. I can't like if I need to do it, I will. But it's not my first instinct, let's just say
I
that.
see.
Right.
And I think that's why you're like a good leader.
Oh.
Yeah, because I think that's why you know how to like have this vision, how to reach this goal, and
Mm.
like lead people to like achieve this goal together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks,
So
Vidya.
you don't do you not think so?
I don't know. I guess. Like I think leading is something that I again, it's never something that like I intentionally like seek out. It's just something that
Oh,
happens. It's like
yeah.
a lot of these things like I don't ask for them. It just kind of like happens, or like people ask me to do things and I'm like, okay, I guess, and then it just kind of
Mm-hmm.
happens. But I'm happy to do it. Like I feel like I'm happy to like work in a team and like have that kind of collective vision,
Mm-hmm.
um which is interesting. But it's also hard to like, so for me I think, and we can talk about this in another episode perhaps, like one of the things that I struggle with is kind of also being more like not conflict averse, right? Like to actually, if there's a problem, not
Mm-hmm.
to take it upon myself, but actually to like face it together with the team and to like be more directive and be like, okay, here's what we have to do, and like just kind of lay it out and face the conflict together.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas for me, my natural tendency would be to like avoid, and then that's kind of not good if
Yeah,
you're a
yeah, yeah,
leader,
yeah.
or to like take it upon myself to try to solve it
Mm-hmm.
without letting the team take responsibility as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's always we always see our own um, weaknesses reflected back to us, I think, sometimes. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Anyhow, moving on. So the next one is the T or F. Like Vidia, I'm also an F. So feeling and very sensitive, emotionally expressive, more empathic, and less competitive. Yeah. So I'm definitely like a type B, like chill, like
Uh-huh.
go with the flow kind of thing. I don't really. I actually am not that ambitious. I'm not that this and that. It's just like I think more empathetic to the feelings of
Yeah,
others,
yeah.
perhaps. Yeah, but just like kind of like a I don't know. I don't know what would you say, like a more adaptive person that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. The last one being J or P.
Mm-hmm.
This is quite basically 100%. Definitely a P, prospecting. So again, this is where Biddy and I differ.
Mm-hmm.
I am very much someone that likes to keep their options open, spontaneous, able to plan things quickly
Nimble.
and like adapt if there's changes. So if I'm traveling alone, which I have done quite a few times, I would generally just leave it to myself to like just wander around and explore the streets and this and
Mm-hmm.
that. So like the extent of my planning will go to be like, okay, if there are a few sites that I really want to see, then I will make time to see those.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else interspersed in between is just like, let's just see what happens, you
Yeah.
know? And something that I used to like to do, and I still probably like to do in like if I go to Europe, in like a lot of European countries, they're very walkable cities, because they were built, before cars were invented. So everything was like very accessible by foot. And so if I get to a new city in the morning, I will book a walking tour and like a free walking tour. And then the tour guide would be a local person who really, knows a lot about the city, and they would go around to all the famous landmarks. And then afterwards, if anything caught my eye during the tour, I would just double back there and then like explore that area more.
Yeah.
And then explore like the museums, explore things that interest me, and then just go from there. But the itinerary is basically, let's just explore and see what's out there. And then the only structure, quote unquote structure, that I would have is just, okay, let's
which
do
city
that.
you're in.
Like, yes, and do the walking tour. And just do that walking tour. So what you're saying about your friend and like, okay, let's just book something the day of or whatever, I literally did that. So I was in Milan, right? And then I think I talked about my Venice trip the day, on episode 1 or 2 or something. And that Venice trip came about because I arrived in Milan and I didn't really like the vibe, or like I couldn't, and this is where I do regret not planning more ahead and looking ahead, because I could have booked some tickets to like the opera, and I could have booked some tickets to like the museums for like Da Vinci or something, and those things would have interested me, right?
Yeah.
But because I didn't, because of my lack of planning, I had nothing to see in Milan.
Yeah.
And so the night before that, I was like, maybe I'll just go to Venice the next day. And so the night before, I literally like booked the train ticket, and then I was off to Venice the next day, and then did a cool 1-day trip of Venice, and then went back that night to Milan. And that was just something I just thought of, like, nah, I'm not really feeling the vibes. Let's just go to a different city. So like that's kind of the flexibility, or like the freedom that you can have if you're just traveling by yourself. And I think I'm just very okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like for me, being someone who's like hyper organized, I find like some freedom when I, become loose a little bit. But for you, like as someone who is very flexible, and maybe when you seek more structure, is that something that is very like, I don't know, like inhibiting to you? Like, you feel very...
No, not really. Okay. Not really. I mean, it depends on what the structure is. If the structure is like very, very regimented, then I would feel it's like exhausting.
Yeah.
And I've done those as well. Like I've gone on a tour in China where they had us literally get up at like 5:30 every day, and then like go back to the hotel at like 8 or 9 p.m. And it's just a whole day of like packed itinerary stuff. But then again, and I didn't really enjoy that, but then it was very cheap, and you got to see a lot of things in a very condensed amount of time. So I'm like, okay, yeah, why not? Like if I'm there just for a limited time, I might as well make the best of it.
Yeah.
But it's not like a type of travel that I enjoy as much.
Yeah.
But if I do it, then I do end up seeing a lot more than I would have perhaps if I were to just be like loosey goosey and just relax. But like I feel like even in my relaxed state, I do want to like maximize the places that I see. So like in a week or like 10 days, I will go to like 3 cities. I will do that. And I have done that in the past too. And so I feel like, if I spend a day and a half in a city, or like 2 days max, I'm like, I've like maximized the time that I've spent in most places. And like honestly, this is not a disparage of any cities in Europe, but like sometimes you can get a lot if you just go for a day and a half and you just really maximize the time. You still see a lot. So of course the city can be seen in more days, but if you really want to condense it, you can see the most. You can see basically all of it, in about a day and a half or 2 days. So I think if I were to kind of lay on a beach for a week and do nothing, that would also really just make me bored, and I wouldn't like that. Even though I have nothing planned on the itinerary, I'd be like, well, like let's just do something. Let's go out and like see something. It's, I don't know, it's a bit of both. And then the last bit for the -A or what was it? T. I'm also -T. I'm also turbulent. So I guess like we're all more self-conscious and sensitive to stress.
But we're likely to experience a wide range of emotions and be success-driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve.
Wow.
That doesn't sound bad.
which is nice. I think it's also like maybe we're just a little bit more prone to anxiety. That could be probably what turbulent means.
Yeah.
Which, I think I agree with that assessment as well.
You want to look at your famous people?
Yeah. Which I don't really think there's that many.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get more canceled.
Okay.
Oh, you are Frodo. I
Oh,
didn't know that.
So I'm Frodo and you're Sam.
Yeah.
Samwise Gamgee. That's hilarious. Wait, maybe there's other things that paired together. Am I Sherlock? Because I saw you were Dr. Watson.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I was.
I'm
you're
J.R.R. Tolkien. That's cool. William Shakespeare.
See all these like
that's pretty legit.
Like
I'll take Shakespeare.
great people in the history.
Yeah.
With great masterpieces.
All right. Alicia Keys,
Tom Hiddleston. Oh, that's
Julia
nice.
Roberts, William Wordsworth. Is he a poet or something? Okay, we're gonna get canceled. Okay, what's why? What happens if you click on why? First of all, who is this man? Yeah, okay, he's a poet.
No, poet,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, phew. Okay, I was right. Wow, that was hard. I was just like, ooh.
Much of what's Wordsworth poetry is an exercise in self-expression.
Wow, look at me having all these like sophisticated, verbose, English gentlemen. Okay, I'm happy with that.
Johnny
Depp, nice. Arwen, is that how you pronounce it?
The Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, she's the elf lady that was like portrayed by
I like how you haven't watched the entire movies and you know who that is.
Well, I mean, the picture. I can see the picture. Was it like Kate Blanchett or like some lady? Oh, she's the one that was like really ethereal.
Yeah.
And had like a fuzzy.
I know. I forgot her name, but
okay.
But her dad is the one who sings. Her dad is in Aerosmith. Shoot, we're gonna get canceled. People are like, these girls are so not cultured.
Yeah, well, as if anything else is new. Okay. Anne of Green Gables. Oh man, okay, that book to me is so boring. Like, no offense, sorry to this lady who like wrote the book, but like nothing happens in the story. Like, I'm sorry, but like there's no conflict. There's no like a plot. It's just like Bambi. Yeah, it's like Bambi. Like, okay, so Vidia and I, on a side note, like Vidia and I recently, like I would say like 2 months ago or something, watched Bambi for the first time because she got Disney Plus. And like there's no plot to this movie. Like, if you haven't watched it, like you're not missing out on much. No offense to anyone who's like,
but the visuals are really
nice.
Like,
the visuals are fine, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, back in the day, it was probably revolutionary for its time because of the animation. But it's much more about the animation than it is about the plot, because there is no plot.
There's no plot.
You just see this deer, like, grow up. That's the plot of the movie. And then it goes through, like, the seasons, and then people get old.
Yeah.
I mean, not people. There's no people. It's the people, the hunter killed the mom. And that's about it.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm just like,
I kept waiting on, okay, what is the conflict, the climax?
Nothing. There was nothing. And it was just like, we were just kind of looking at each other like, is this it? Like, is this all the movie is? Yeah, I think we were expecting it to be like
emotional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I think from the episode of Friends where they were talking about what makes people cry, and then Joey was like telling Chandler like, you didn't cry when Bambi's mom died? And then Chandler was like, yeah, it was really sad when they stopped drawing the deer. And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah,
like,
but that's it.
I can relate.
That's it. Yeah.
It's just like,
there's nothing else, unfortunately.
So for me, I think that just, I don't know, the Anne of Green Gables, like, nothing happens.
Yeah.
Nothing happens.
Oh, I remember. Is that Liv Tyler? Arwen?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Oh, her dad is the Aerosmith singer? Oh.
I like how we're just like thinking out loud in this podcast. Yeah, it's Liv Tyler.
Oh.
Her dad is Steven Tyler.
Oh.
See, okay. I knew it. Yeah.
But I was another like elf person. I mean, she's an elf, right? It's like an elf person. Okay, anyway. Okay, the haters are gonna come at us, but whatever. This is our podcast, so if you have anything against us, please let us know in the comments. But we have the mics, so right now. Wait, who else is there? Fox Mulder?
Yeah. And I don't know who this.
Oh, Amelie. I know Amelie. It's from the movie.
Oh, that's that Amelie. Okay.
Yeah, the
Okay.
French one. Yeah. That's a fun movie. Amelie. Yeah.
Okay.
But she's kind of weird, no? In the movie, like
you're gonna get a lot of people
just
upset.
Like spies on her neighbors, but it's a good movie. I liked it.
Yeah.
It's like a funny, quirky kind of vibe.
I was gonna say, I think from these people, I can see that
you can see me.
Like there's like quirkiness. There's also that like dreaming kind of personality.
Oh, okay. Like more ethereal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like you have imagination. That
okay.
kind of.
Is there anyone else?
Nope, that's it.
That's it, huh? So the Anne of who was the last one?
Anne of Green Gables.
Oh wait, no, there's more.
Oh, you have
Sybil. Oh, that's from Downton Abbey. I also have not watched Downton Abbey. Bones, Anna Karenina. Constantine Levy from Anna Karenina. I think that was a husband, no?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So let's just like go a bit deeper into the ISFJ. I'm curious to know, like, so in the on the website, there's a whole bunch of like subcategories about strengths and weaknesses, romantic relationships, friendships, parenthood, career path, workplace habits, a whole bunch of like subcategories about how this person in this personality type would interact in these relationships and scenarios. So I'm curious, what's yours, ISFJ?
Yeah, I'm kind of reading this for the second time because I don't really remember, but let's go. My strengths are supportive, reliable, observant, enthusiastic, hardworking, good practical skills. And my weaknesses are overly humble, taking things personally, repressing their feelings, reluctant to change, and too altruistic.
What do you think? Do you think it's accurate?
Yeah, quite accurate.
I think it's pretty accurate. I honestly, if I were to describe you, I would probably use all of those words. Like actually.
The strengths and weaknesses?
Yeah. Okay. I think you are overly humble. You don't take enough credit for yourself, and you are very self-critical, like very critical on yourself.
Yeah, I'm guilty of that.
Repressing emotions. Yes, I see that as well. Reluctant to change. Maybe it's more just like plans. When you have a plan and you're like, oh man, now I gotta like, change that plan. Maybe?
I get very stressed about having to change. Yeah. And too altruistic.
I think so. Like sometimes you always like put others before yourself and like.
Yeah, I think so. I think I've realized this quite late. Realizing that sometimes you need to also think about like my own needs.
And like being more assertive maybe with your needs.
And to not like equalize, like thinking about myself does not mean like I'm selfish. That sometimes you do need to like prioritize your own needs so that maybe you can serve others better. Yeah. So that you don't burn out. Yeah.
It's like the put on your oxygen mask before assisting others. It's the same thing. I actually watched this video about a guy. His name is Destin. He has a YouTube channel called Smarter Every Day, which is a really cool channel. And he's like literally like a rocket scientist or something in the US. And he like explores all these like cool things about science and things like that. And the reason why they say put on your oxygen mask before helping others, he actually went to like different fighter pilots and like asked them why, and he did this experiment in this like zero oxygen tank where like slowly they seep the oxygen away, and then basically to simulate what happens at high altitudes. And it's essentially if there's an emergency on a plane and you are all of a sudden like devoid of oxygen, your brain is like shutting down like super fast, and so you only have like seconds before you can kind of like have still control of your motor functions and your ability to like actually put on the mask. So if you waste those precious seconds, not only do you die, but like the person you're trying to help also will not be able to receive assistance, and then it's like a lose-lose scenario.
Right.
So like it, you actually see him like actually like his motor functions shuts down slowly, and then there's this one point where he just like is very weak and he's able to just say like, help, like I don't want to
Mm,
die. And then like someone obviously helps him with his mask, but it was like it was a real because before I was like, oh, that's really selfish. Like, what if you're like a mother and you just like take care of yourself, and then like it's your child. Isn't that
yeah.
your maternal instinct to like take care of
See, this
them?
is a thinking versus
Yeah,
feeling.
exactly. But actually, like realistically speaking, in order to protect your child or to protect those that you
Love.
that you want to, you actually do need to put on your oxygen mask
Mm-hmm.
before assisting others. So I think that's actually like a really like a very like deep point, because you burn out and then you're not helping anybody,
Yeah, yeah.
especially yourself.
So I need to be more selfish.
Well, yeah, I think being clear with like
Yeah,
boundaries, maybe to just be
yeah,
like,
that's a good
I need this
point.
time and like I need this for
Yeah,
myself to like recharge and
yeah.
whatever.
Being able to say no and
Mm.
prioritize strategically, I guess.
Because it works as a counter, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
one of the like strength is like you're enthusiastic and you're eager to help
Mm-hmm.
and you're very reliable, so obviously you're a great help. But then
Mm-hmm.
the counter to that is like you're too reliable, people depend on you, and then they put more burden than they should
Mm-hmm.
on you, and you just take
Yeah.
it. And you're
And then
just
I'll
like,
feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not reliable. Then what am I? Like, I'm
mm,
useless.
oh
And no,
no.
no, no. I don't feel like that, but I can see how it can like spiral down
Yeah, yeah.
that way. But
Oh,
wow,
okay.
is this therapy?
Free therapy.
Yeah. Well, let's look at yours.
Okay.
Your strengths and
Oh goodness.
weaknesses.
INFP. So empathetic, generous, open-minded, creative, passionate. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Idealistic. Okay. And weakness is being unrealistic, self-isolating,
Hmm.
unfocused, emotionally vulnerable, too eager to please, self-critical. Oh, interesting.
What do you think?
Um yeah, I think I generally agree with it. Like I think that the the first one, the reason I laugh for the weaknesses of like unrealistic is because sometimes I do feel like my thoughts are not that realistic.
See, this is
Like
the dreamer in you.
yeah, and like definitely unfocused. I think I can get bored easily, and it affects my focus. So I feel like I'm at my optimal when I have like many things happening, but I know how to like deal with those many things at
Mm-hmm,
once,
mm-hmm.
and that makes me feel very productive. So like if I'm just doing one thing ad nauseum, then I'm just like, when is this over?
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but if there's a lot of things going on, I'd rather be busy than bored
Oh
is
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
what
Me
is
too.
probably the way it is. Self-isolating
This
is
is
interesting.
new. I wouldn't expect this
I think so.
actually.
I think like remember how we were talking about the whole like introversion and like how I've become more reclusive.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's it. Like yeah, even in reading this, they say they long to connect with others, but they don't always know how. Especially in new environments, they may be reluctant to put themselves out there in ways that would help them make new friends or become involved in a new community. Yeah, I think so. Like, it's not that
Mm,
I don't know how; it's just that like it's just
like lack the drive, I guess. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Like
lack
you
the
really
drive.
need to make an effort.
Yeah, yeah. I have to like consciously like take that step.
Yeah, and need some push.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Which I think you've been great at helping me do. So that's good. Like
Mm-hmm.
I need that sometimes, and it's just like
Yeah.
without it, I'm very much just like, okay, I'll just be at home
Yeah.
and like just do my own thing.
But I don't think you're emotionally vulnerable. This is one of the weaknesses they
Hmm.
mentioned.
Yeah, so it says the emotional attunement of these personalities is among their greatest strengths, but unless they establish boundaries, they can be at risk of absorbing other people's negative moods or attitudes, and this can be detrimental to their personal peace and productivity. Yes, I think that's true.
Really?
Like
Okay.
I think I'm pretty like um empathetic sometimes to like a degree where it's like not healthy for me. Like if I feel like, oh man, like I really feel for something or feel for someone, then like that would consume my thoughts a bit. and
To the
like
point where it affects your, I don't know, activity, your
not that extreme, but sometimes
okay.
it can be. It can be like a bit like crippling. I think it depends on how strong the emotion is. Like the stronger the emotion, the
Okay.
more I'm impacted.
Like
And
an
like
empath.
yeah, like I think it's just like in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes like I would need time to be by myself and to like um digest some sort of disagreement
Mm-hmm.
before I can like verbalize something, because I would be so concerned with what the other person is feeling if I were to say something critical, that
I
I would just
see.
like not say it and just like, because I'm like, oh, I would rather just be the person that feels bad than have this whatever I'm about to say hurt the other person. But like
Mm-hmm.
it's not healthy, because then you don't communicate and you
Yeah.
don't vocalize your own discontentment. And yeah, so I don't know, I can see how it would say that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So it is accurate. What about the strengths? Open-minded, yes.
Great. Yeah,
Very
I think
open.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and empathetic.
Generous, sure. Why not? Just throw that in there. I don't know. At times, creative at times. I think like unconventional in certain ways. I would try to like think of solutions that are a bit different, or
Yeah.
like just. But I think open minded and creative is pretty similar.
Yeah. Yeah. Passionate and idealistic.
Yes, idealistic is true, but which is why sometimes it's unrealistic.
I see.
Yeah,
All right. Should we look at romantic relationships
sure.
of
Why
an
not?
INFP?
Ooh la la.
See, people with INFP are dreamers and idealists, especially when it
Mm,
comes to romance. Okay.
mm.
Wonder how this
Hopeless
translates.
romantic. I don't think I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm not hopeless.
You're just
Just kidding.
romantic?
I don't think I'm not romantic either. I don't
Oh,
know where this is
okay.
coming from. But okay, you know what? But from reading this description, though, I'm kind of like, okay, if that's how they define it, then maybe I am. So they just okay. So it says INFPs don't just want to find a partner; they want to connect with a soulmate. Thoughtful and open-minded, these personalities are generally willing to consider going out with all sorts of people. Maybe not. um, but I look past their partner's superficial traits, such as appearance, social status, or possessions, and focus on deeper, more meaningful signals of compatibility. That's probably true. I think I want to like connect more deeply with someone,
Mm-hmm.
like intellectually and spiritually, and would would definitely kind of
Yeah, yeah.
look for that deeper connection.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, even to be friends with someone, I feel like we can be close friends if we actually like share a lot, of our thoughts and stuff. And so if it's like my partner, then all the more would I
Yeah,
want to do that, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. But I feel like a lot of people just like have good chemistry and they just match well together, even if you don't like even if you don't like see each other often, but like once you see each other, like the time spent is like very quality time, and then that works too. It's not really about quantity or quality. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, I mean, sorry, it's not about quantity, but it's more like the quality and the depth of the connection.
Connection.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
Making an effort.
So having like compromise and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it says INFPs use their compassion and insight to understand the people they care about, and
Mm.
they draw on their creativity to make their partner feel special.
Oh. Okay. mm.
And then finding what's real. Tend to promote harmony over disagreements.
Yes. So I think this is actually a weakness sometimes, because like in the effort to have like
Harmony.
harmony, the other people, like I would compromise, or
Yeah,
I
and you don't
would,
fully express yourselves.
yes, I would like build up something, or I'd build it up and hide it, and then that brews discontentment or bitterness or resentment, and then it's kind of like a, okay, I'll just be the martyr, like I will,
Yeah.
and actually that's not good.
Yeah.
Like, because
It says it on the website.
Oh,
Like,
does it?
This
Does it?
makes
Wow.
you susceptible to hurt. Yeah. Because it leads to problems, right? Like, even though you have like stability, but
yeah,
there's issues you don't talk about.
yeah,
as well.
Turbulent, as was noted earlier. So I agree. I think it's also like recognizing your strengths and weaknesses, because that actually translates to romantic relationships, friendships, like all of these things, like they're all interconnected, right? So it's not like an isolated event or a part of yourself. But I can see that about me. Do you agree?
Yeah. Oh wow, this has been very accurate.
Yeah, surprisingly, eh?
So let's see my
romantic
relationship. I don't think there's much information on ISFJ. I don't know if it's because it's free.
No, I think it's just because you're such a helper. Like you're just like you're always like the giver,
Okay, let's see what it says. Where do I go first?
Your emotions run deep.
So deep that people with this personality type may struggle to find the words to express how much their partner means to them. I think I can be expressive to my partner. I think so. I think so. But they show their affection in a million little ways on a daily basis.
I think so.
Sure.
I think you're like I can see that.
Acts of service. ISFJ personalities. What?
I'm just reading it.
What usually?
Although generally a proactive, can-do personality, many ISFJs struggle to take the initiative when it comes to. Yes, I agree.
Isn't that just a girl thing?
Yeah, probably, but it's maybe also just an ISFJ thing.
I just want to be pursued. I think it's a girl thing, no?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just continue reading. Asking someone out can be incredibly uncomfortable for these personalities, who tend to worry about not only rejection but also violating unspoken social rules. It's just a girl thing, guys.
Okay, sure.
Don't you feel the same?
Yes, I feel the same. Like I would not want to take initiative, but there's like ways that I would be more proactive. Like I would be more demonstrative of my like signals.
I can give out signals as well.
I think your signals are so muted though.
Oh really?
Yeah, they're not very apparent.
Okay, all right. I gotta work on that, I guess. What else can we talk about? Okay, this may be true. Like ISFJs usually express their love and affection not through grandiose declarations, but rather through consistent everyday gestures that demonstrate thoughtfulness and care. Yeah, I think that's me.
So that's what it was with the whole like million little things in the day.
Yeah.
Because I think that's how you are with your friends too, like with friendship. Like you are like always consistently
little details.
Yeah, you're consistently showing up.
Yeah,
I agree. Oh, I really like what they say here though about like they approach dating and romance with enormous level of dedication and loyalty. They value deep, enduring connections and often seeking long-term commitment rather than short-lived adventures. Yeah, I agree.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
ISFJs are, in a word, committed.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty accurate so far.
They say it takes a really long time to get over a heartache of a breakup.
Depends. I think depends on the reason of the breakup.
Well, it says here, it's interesting that don't think of ISFJs are pushovers in the relationship. Although these personalities generally try to avoid conflict, they have clear and firm opinions and preferences on all kinds of subjects. I think that's actually
that's true. Yeah,
I think that's true.
I try to avoid conflict, but I'm also clear.
Yeah,
what I think
you
is
would
right
assert
and wrong.
Your
opinions.
Yeah. See, which is funny because on the reverse for me, like I think I'm not as assertive.
And that surprised me.
Yeah,
that
me too.
I thought you would be more assertive in like your own opinions.
Yeah.
So, wow, we can be different in relationships. In like romantic relationships. Yeah. Apparently,
I think I'm more muted when it comes to like, I don't know. I think that's something I had to work on. How to be more how to be more outspoken in
Yeah.
like my own thoughts.
Like in romantic relationships.
Yeah.
Because I'm not. Like I'm more outspoken
Yeah.
in romantic relationships.
Right? Than you are in like daily like friendships or like whatever.
Yeah.
Other relationships.
I think maybe because if it's with your like romantic partner, I see them as like very significant, so that I can just like open like all the way.
I think that's a healthy way to look at it. I'm the reverse. I'm like, oh, because this is such an important thing, like I don't want to ruin it by saying all these like things or bringing up some bad stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I think is wrong. So I'm trying to be more like you in that area, but it's harder than it looks because I feel like because I'm already anticipating the conflict or the like I'd rather just take the disagreement. And just, like,
Yeah.
But it's not good. It's not healthy.
Oh wow.
Yeah, interesting.
Huh. All right.
Should we do the friendship one?
Okay. ISFJ. Where do we start? ISFJs navigate friendships with a unique blend of warmth, support, and consistency. Their natural ability to connect on a personal level and truly understand others allows them to build strong, long-lasting bonds.
Yes, I agree 100%.
That's good to hear.
As a friend of yours, I can affirm and confirm that this is true. This is what I've experienced in our friendship.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, it's very I couldn't have said better like adjectives than that. Warm,
Thanks for the
supportive,
positive
and
feedback.
Yeah.
I like this sentence. This trait tends to make ISFJs exceptional.
Wow. Ooh la la. My oh my.
Yeah. I do think like with some of my close friends, they say I'm a good listener and they feel comfortable like opening up. Like 100%. Even with people I just become acquainted with.
Yes.
I see the tendency of people like opening up to me, which I appreciate.
Yes.
So maybe I give off that vibe.
Yes, you do. Like how many times can I say this in this episode? But it's true. I think you are very calming. Like you have a calming presence. And so people just naturally tend to want to open up to you. It's just
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, this is interesting because I think it's true. ISFJs appreciate their friends deeply and they aren't afraid to show it, but it may be difficult for them to ask for that same appreciation in return.
Okay, so I validate you.
Yeah, because we are the helper and it's hard to ask for help. It's really bad. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. Is it because you find that if you ask for help, you're kind of admitting that you can't do something?
I think it's more about the fear of inconveniencing other people.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But then when people ask you for help,
I'd be happy to like offer help.
Right.
but
you're also inconvenienced. But you're like, that's fine.
Yeah, because it's for other people. But I think just the thought of like burdening others with my request for help, that's really hard.
Right.
Yeah. And someone like pointed out to me that, hey, I think you have a problem like asking for help. And I'm like, oh yes. Yeah, I think I'm still working on it.
But I think that you're getting better though. Like I think you do ask for help sometimes now. Like for prayer requests and for things like that.
Yeah.
I think that's something
Progress.
Different that I've seen.
Yeah.
But I also think that like I think treat yourself as if you were like a third party. Because if you think of yourself as someone who you want to help, why don't you think that people will be willing to help you if you ask?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm a big critic to myself.
Yeah, see, this is a whole self-critical thing all over again.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, all right. I'll ask for more help.
Yeah. And I think you'll be really surprised at how willing people will be to like extend that hand. Because like obviously you've helped the others, so why not? Why would they not return that?
It's the whole thing of not extending grace to my own self. Yeah, which is work in progress for me. All right, sure. Let's see INFPs in friendships.
Am I also an exceptional friend? What is it? Oh, this is interesting. Okay, let's read this bit where it says People with the INFP may find themselves caught in a web of contradictions. INFPs crave alone time, but they're also vulnerable to loneliness. They long to feel accepted and well liked, but they hate the idea of pretending to be anyone but their authentic self. And while these personalities hesitate to draw attention to themselves, they don't want to be invisible either. Well, what can I do? What to do? The good news is that in the company of true friends, INFPs can escape the hamster wheel of these insecurities and focus on what really matters. For those personalities, friendship is a precious commodity, an opportunity for two people to lift each other up and change each other's lives for the better. INFPs truly believe the old saying that a friend in need is a friend indeed.
Do you feel this confliction? You want to be alone, but
yeah, at
you
times,
can be lonely. Okay.
At times, but I think that like I definitely am someone that values like quality over quantity. So, and it's more just like, yeah, the searching for a kindred spirit. That's really kind of it's just like long. Yeah, see, what can I say but this? INFPs are looking for lasting, authentic friendships with people who share their desire to think and feel deeply, to do the right thing, and to give more to the world than they take from it. They enjoy delving into deep philosophical discussions and exploring different ideas, often bridging the gap between reality and the fantastical. Oh my goodness, this is yes.
It is also because you're a nerd, so you deeply enjoy engaging in like
this is just like
intellectual
your
conversations,
but which I've become, begrudgingly accepted. But like I never saw myself as a nerd. It's just like for the record,
it's a positive trait, guys. Nerds are cool.
I'm not saying nerds aren't. I just didn't see myself as being one. But then, through the years of constant like brainwashing propaganda that you're a nerd. I'm like, okay, yes, I'm a nerd. So I guess I'm a nerd now. But like I think that just having deep philosophical discussions is something that I think like people don't think about, but when it happens, they're happy that it happens, So it's just kind of like that kind of vibe.
And I think that reflects our friendship because we can talk about anything.
Yeah, we're just like the most random things. Like sometimes it's just
from like
the band
trivial things to like
or deeper
philosophical existential
things.
things.
Yeah, true. Yeah, so the searching for the kindred spirit, I really resonate with that. That's really something I agree.
Okay.
Friends for life. Ooh. Yes, that's also true. Like I do want to like have long lasting friendships. But it's hard. I think that's something I struggle with as well because I mean, both of us went to school, back east in Ottawa, and like we found a lot of good friendships there, but it's hard to maintain that now in Vancouver just with the time difference and just just distance overall. And so
but to this day I'm still amazed our friendships have lasted.
Yeah,
considering how many years we were like physically apart. Like
this has outlasted like relationships, has outlasted like jobs, pandemic. It has outlasted many things. So I'm like, wow, this is pretty consistent.
Because I think you are pretty good. Like you were pretty good at like maintaining it. Yeah. I mean, me too.
It's like it goes both ways. Yeah. It goes both ways. But yes, I agree. Like it's just something that. Like, I think I value that. Like, I value, like, longevity, And so that's why perhaps the counterpart is that, like, sometimes I find it hard to make friends, like, make new friends. Like, you have to put yourself out there again, and it's, like, just a lot of work to build up to that. I'm like, can we just fast forward to the part where we've already established all of this, like, filler stuff?
So, like, in your mind, when you make new friends or acquaintances, you always have the goal to be, like, oh, I want to be like soul sisters with these people.
Well, no. I mean, I think it's more like the vibe. If the vibe is vibing, and then we can like go deeper. But if the vibe is just like, okay, let's just stay where we are, then that's fine too.
Okay.
That's fine too. I think I just go with whatever.
With the vibe.
Yes. Again, this is like the P part coming out, right? Like I'm very like spontaneous. Right. Like, okay. Just like I mirror back whatever you give me. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you also like wanted to maintain this friendship. So then it's like a mirrored effect,
Mhm,
like I wanted
mhm.
to resonate with that as well. So
Yeah.
that's cool. Interesting. Wow, all in all, navigating INFP friendships is a deeply personal and emotionally enriching journey.
Oh yes, yes. I
Their
can
friendships are
vouch
marked
for
by
that.
unhindered empathy, intellectual explorations, and an incredible depth of understanding, making them one of the most cherished friends to have.
Oh.
Wow. Oof.
Yes.
With all this, I'm
Yes to
gonna
that.
oh, thanks. Gonna give myself a pat on the back. Wow, look at us just like giving each other flowers, just like, yeah, you're good. Yeah, you're good too.
Validation.
This is many worth of affirmation
Yes,
right here.
yes. And quality time.
Yeah, super quality
But no
time.
physical touch
No.
in between.
Yeah, just and no gifts either. It's like, yeah, the gift is my time. Okay,
I am the gift, my presence.
I am the gift. I am the gift. I am the captain now. All right.
Well, yeah. So that was
That's
episode 4, guys.
Was there anything about career or like
Oh,
work-life
okay.
balance?
Sorry,
I'm
I thought we
kinda
were
curious.
ending this.
Okay. It's
Career
like,
path.
I'm done
All right,
talking to
let's
you.
continue.
So hilarious. This is gonna be a longer episode, guys, but that's fine. Oh my goodness, this is actually me. For INFPs, an ideal career path should feel like a calling, not just a job. And if it doesn't involve too many draining social interactions, phone calls, so much the better. LOL. Yes, that is true. I do want to have some sort of calling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that foster human connection and emotional depth. The immense capacity for empathy and understanding makes them adept at facilitating healing and growth and allows them to fulfill their inherent desire to aid others in their personal transformations. Wow.
So there should be like a deeper purpose in what you do. It's not just a job.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really feel like life is too short to not have a purpose in that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it says here, INFPs are highly adaptable people, as you have been saying. And it's demotivating to work in high stress, bureaucratic, hectic environments. I think that's true.
Yeah. They can also be frustrated by workplaces that are highly critical or competitive.
Just go with the flow.
Yes, conversely, workplaces that reward independence tend to be a good fit for INFPs, although they may appreciate some structure and oversight to help them avoid procrastinating and getting lost in thought. LOL. Yes, that's very true too. I am a professional procrastinator, as they say. Yeah. Oh my, I really like the ending. They can put up with anything. They can put up and overcome any number of challenges as long as they can pursue a sense of mission in their work. I think that's true.
Yeah.
INFPs want to live in tune with their values in their careers as much as in any other aspects of their life. Yes. I want everything to be aligned properly.
Yeah.
And I agree with that statement. What do you think? You agree?
I think I agree for myself as well. Like if there's no deeper calling, I think what's gonna keep you on the job. It's hard for me to imagine to work like a job for a long time. If it's just a job and there's no like deeper purpose.
Yeah. I think that like perhaps this like sense of like wanting something more meaningful is also because we have like the privilege of that, sometimes like in many places and for many people it's just like even if they think that they want that purpose, it's not really something that's
it's not feasible financially.
Financially or just in terms of their skill set and background and education is just not that viable. But yeah, it's interesting nonetheless to think about that. What does yours say?
Let's see. Career paths for ISFJ. People with the ISFJ personality type are motivated, consistent workers, rarely losing sight of the ways in which their daily tasks can benefit others. So similar. Like I need to see why my work matters to other people.
And you're very consistent. You're like, I think that's a great thing to be.
Like consistent workers? What does that mean?
Like you're very diligent in your work.
Oh, okay.
Like you show up, you do the work.
Uh-huh.
You're a good worker. It's basically
Mm-hmm.
saying. Mm.
Okay. ISFJs tend to excel at customer service with a particular gift for listening to concerns, calming frustrations, and seeing things through a clear resolution. I haven't worked in customer service though, because I
Interesting.
actually avoid that. I don't want to like face
All this,
angry
like,
customers.
yes,
but
yes.
I do like to listen to people. But interesting. The people skills that ISFJs call upon can also translate into roles in human resources, IT support, hospitality, retail, office administration, library sciences.
Library sciences.
Yeah.
Like being a librarian?
I don't know. Pretty much any job that involves fielding and helping answer people's questions. Yes, I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can see that too.
Yeah. I like to be like
Helpful.
someone, helpful and someone
See,
they
it's
can
the helpful thing.
consult with. Yeah, I guess that's it. Yeah, because I wanted to be a flight attendant, and I actually can imagine myself like enjoying serving like
beverages,
passengers.
and
Yeah.
So I can see that too.
Yeah.
Just the height though. That's probably what, unfortunately.
All right. Meticulous and socially oriented, and ISFJs have a talent for remembering things about other people. Oh my gosh, this is so true.
You do.
Yeah.
You do. You're great at remembering things about other people. I'm just like I talk to someone and like, unless the story was like very engaging or like I was like intentionally trying very hard to listen.
Yeah.
It just goes like it's hard for me to absorb.
Yeah, this is very true because with my colleague and like business partners that I meet with, I will try my best to like remember certain details.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, with the amount of people you meet, you remember these details? I'm very impressed.
Do you write this down or something?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Wow.
Yeah. Sometimes I write it down because it will matter like for like work. And it will be part of my like follow-ups and stuff.
So what do you write? Like, okay, Greg likes the color purple and has a pet dog.
Yeah, something like that. Like or something that relates to what we were talking about that will be like my in for like my topic to.
Oh, that's really smart.
With them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good.
But it doesn't work all the time. Sometimes you meet too many people and you don't like remember all of them. But
wow. But that would be why you'd be good in customer service, because you like can remember things. And, like,
I guess
like listen,
maybe for my
and
career pivot one day I should look into customer service. But yeah, I actually do like serving people.
Yeah. I mean, again, the helper thing, like defender, helper. Yeah. So you're very much like, I think that if there was a template archetype like person for this ISFJ,
the defender, me.
Yeah, you, Vidia, aka the defender.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good. All right, I like that. Well, I hope you like that too. Whoever's listening to this very long episode, I think we've broken a record here for the length of this.
Thanks for listening to us rant about ourselves. Hopefully you get to know us more. And
share with us your personality types. We're also curious. And then stay tuned for the next one. Until then, bye.